Bhumika, Anjali.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Kavishri. Good morning to all. We will
Good
be,
morning, sir.
yeah, good morning. Just I simply read your all names. Okay. We will be starting the class now, and we will be completing that problems, whatever we have been doing it. We have started with all of you can see the document, no?
Yes,
All of you
sir.
can, yeah. Anyone has got the answer for this? Have you completed it? Any one of you? Anyone has attempted this problem? Okay. We are studying the shielded strip line, and we are at the fag end of this half of this module. This copper strip line conductor has 2.266 centimeter, and width is given, and D is 3.32 centimeter, epsilon r is 2.195, and Z naught is the characteristic impedance assuming negligible thickness. So W by D, you have to find out. You have to say that W by D is 0.83125 is what you will get, which is greater than zero point 0.5. So you have to find out K dash and use the equation for Z naught to find out the characteristic impedance. So anyone of you have got the answer for Z naught? Okay, you may be still doing it. So find out the W by D ratio. All of you find out first the W by D ratio. So find out the W by D ratio. So you will get it as 0.83125. Whether all of you got 0.83125?
Yes, sir.
Okay, find out K dash. Tan H pi omega by 2D. So tan H pi 0.266 divided by 2 into 0.32. So when you do it, you will get 0.8632. All of you got this K dash 0.8632.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then use the equation for Z naught and calculate the value for Z naught. You should see that which equation to be used. Here W by D is greater than 0.5. So you have to use the perfect equation. So you find out Z naught. I will come back to that answer later. So all of you find out, substitute the values and find out Z naught. See, choosing the equation is very important. By finding out W by D value, you can choose the equation.
Sir, it is 50 ohms, sir.
Yeah, it is 50 ohms. So what you can, those who are yet doing it, you have to use this equation. Z naught is equal to 30 pi square divided by root of epsilon r ln 2 into 1 plus root k dash divided by 1 minus root k dash. So good that you got the correct answer. It's very good. You have substituted and simplified in a systematic way. So z0 you will get it as 30 pi square divided by root of 2.195 ln 2 into 1 plus root of 0.8632 divided by 1 minus root of 0.8632. So we will get it as 50 ohm. So all of you have completed this problem. So those who have completed this problem, you can just go ahead with the next problem. A copper stripline conductor has W 0.66 centimeter and D is equal to 0.5 centimeter. Those who have completed the previous one, you can just go ahead with this one. The thickness T of the stripline is given as 0.05 centimeter. Then determine CF, the fringe capacitance. Then Z0, characteristic impedance of the strip line if the dielectric constant of the substrate is 2.25. So you can try that. So all of you have completed Z0 as 50 ohm you got. Any others also? So yeah, what about others? You got 50 ohms?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So continue with this problem. So a copper stripline conductor has W is 0.66 centimeter. D is 0.5 centimeter. The thickness T of the stripline is given as 0.05 centimeter. Determine the CF, fringe capacitance, and Z0, characteristic impedance of the stripline if the dielectric constant of the substrate is 2.25. So you have to find out the value of K. You will get 1 divided by 1 minus T by D. After that, you know that you have to find out CF. So all of you will get K as 1.111.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then find out CF. CF, do the substitutions properly. Do the substitutions properly for CF. So all of you just raise your hands just to see that how many of you are active in the class. Okay. Only 7. No, don't keep it down. Keep your hands raised, just to see that how many of you are doing this problem properly. So only 14 members. What about others? What about others? Yeah, just keep it on. Don't bring it down. I want to see that how many of you are active. So only 22 students, means 50% of the students are active. 23, 24, okay, 26, 27. Don't let your hands down. You complete the problem. I just want to see that who are all not active in the class. Bhumika, you can unmute it. Okay. So 28 students are active. Okay. Just once more, I will repeat. Keep your hands up if you are available in the session. Okay. What about Gokul, Govind, Harshavardhan, Mala S, Manohar? Okay. So these are the people, those who are not active. Okay. Anita, Anjali, Chidamba. So see, be active in the classroom. I will be asking you to raise your hands in between. So I should feel that you people are available. So still another 10 to 15 are there. You just inform them that they should be active in the classes. Okay. So all of you can just put your hands down. So you can just put your hands down, and we will complete that problem. So be active in the class. Just it is, we are taking it for 40 to 45 minutes. So what is the answer you are going to get for fringe capacitance CF?
11.549, sir.
Yeah, it's correct. So you can go with Z0.
Z0 is 30.67, sir.
Yeah, 11.53 you will get picofarad per meter. All of you got it? 11.53. See, everyone can put your hands down. Meghana, Madan, put your hands down. Dilip, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Otherwise, put your hands down. And Madan, any doubts are there? So both of you can, if you don't have any doubts, you can put your hands down. Then we'll continue further. So all of you got this answer. All of you got this answer. CF. So you will get CF is equal to 8.854 epsilon r by pi 2k ln k plus 1 minus k minus 1 ln k square minus 1, and you will get it as 11.53 picofarad per meter. Once you complete it, you have to go with Z0. Z0 is 94.15 divided by root of epsilon r Wk by d plus Cf divided by 8.854 epsilon r whole inverse. So Cf, you got the value here. You can substitute Cf here, and rest of the values are also available with you to substitute. So when you do all those substitutions, you will get in this form 94.15 divided by root of 2.25, 0.66, 1.11 divided by 0.5, 11.53, 8.854 into 2.25. What is the answer you got? 30, right?
Yes, sir.
30.7 ohms you'll get. So you'll get Z0 as 30.7, CF as 11.53. So all of you complete this problem. All of you complete this problem. So all of you have completed?
Which?
Okay. Okay, complete it, then we will proceed further. See, all of you complete whatever assignments and quizzes have been given to you. I will not be again and again reminding you. The deadline is today, and complete it by today evening. So, have you all completed the problem? We will move on further. Bhumika.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, all of you got this answer? Okay. All of you got this answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. We will continue further. So we have done with the problems of shielded strip line. We got the answer for Z0, and these are some of the problems which we need to know. And while few change in values, and you will get different problems also, but the equations and the methodology will remain the same. So it is not so difficult to solve this kind of problems, and where you have to find out the fringe capacitance and characteristic impedance Z0. So all those things for shielded strip line. So in this half of this module is done with it, where we have studied all the concepts of strip lines, where we have seen the coplanar strip line, shielded strip line, parallel strip line, and micro strip line. So started with micro strip line, its losses, quality factor. Then we went with parallel strip lines, its equation for C, L, and all those things. And then we went with coplanar strip lines, where we studied the characteristic impedance of that. And shielded strip line also, we studied the fringe capacitance, characteristic impedance, and all those things. So this is all about the strip lines. And one good thing about this strip lines is you will get only expected questions for your internals and university examinations, and all questions will be either to use this means out of these four topics, that is micro strip lines, parallel or coplanar or shielded, and maybe one sometimes some problems, that's all. So it is very easy to score this marks out of this module 3, and I want nobody to lose any of the marks in this module, so that you can get good marks in the overall. Okay, so And only thing what you have to be careful here is you need to be very much confident with respect to the equations. You should not make any mistake in understanding the equation, and you should remember the equations for your examinations so that you can substitute the values and solve the problems. So that is all about this portion of the module. Now we have to entirely switch over to the next concept that is called as antenna, and we have completely done with microwave. So 50% plus concepts are over, and we are going to the next portion that is entirely a different thing that where we are going to study about antennas. So we have to understand that what is the need of an antenna. So all these things we have now being we are into the microwave till 2.5 modules. We were understanding microwave and all those things. Those portions are completed. So 2.5 module it will cover almost 50 marks for your university exam, and those things are completed for you. Now rest half of the things we are going to see about antenna. So antenna, a few things you should be very much confident. One is integration, differentiation. So integration and differentiation you should know little bit in order to solve the problems. For antenna to derive also few integrations and differentiation, substituting the limits and all those things you should know. But there are not much complicated problems and all. You should very basic things whatever you have studied in integration of sine cos, integration of sine square, sine cube, integration of cos cube, or trigonometric relation of sine AB. So all these things, sine A cos B, sine square theta, all those things. What is the relationship between sine and cos, trigonometric relationship between sine and cos, relationship between tan and cos. So whichever you have been studying from, you can say that 8th standard till today, either it can be a trigonometric relationship or it can be an integration or a differentiation. So these things you have to just understand once or go through these things if you have forgotten those things, to just solve the problems and few derivations further. So here in antennas, we'll be studying the first portion, that is half of this module is there in third module. So this half of the module will be studying the antenna basics. So what is antenna, what is all about antennas, what are the parameters associated with antenna, what do you mean by pattern, what do you mean by gain, what is efficiency, what is directivity, what do you mean by antenna field zones and all those things. These are some of the things we are going to learn in this first means in this third module half of this section. So where you'll be understanding a few things, how the pattern has to be, what do you mean by main lobe, what do you mean by side lobes, all those things we'll be studying. Apart from that, first to make it very much clear for you the importance of antenna, if you take any wireless communication process, there is a need of an antenna. So you will be having various types of antennas like dish antenna, helical antenna, horn antenna, Yagi antenna, dipole antenna, Yagi Uda antenna. Then you have so many types of antennas, patch antenna, and there are a lot of antennas in and around you as of today. And this technology has been of very high importance from recent 25 to 30 years or 40 years of time, where you really communicate to a person without the usage of a wire. So the antenna is the device which helps you to transmit the signal and receive the signal from at various intervals of at a particular distance. So it's like there you have to find out that how much power has to be transmitted, how much power is being received, what is the you. So all these things is going to come for you. So these are some of the things which you are going to study in this part of this module, where you have to see that how the antennas when they fed with a power of some power, what is the transmitted power and what the signal gets received. Now you can see that you have so much of towers in and around you. You can see wherever you just stand outside your home, you can see antennas there. If you are in your home, you can see antenna available in there. You go to military applications, you can see antennas and radars and all those things. Radars is not that we are not studying those part of it. So it is having very high importance of in the communication domain. And you have to also know that if you take an example of a helical antenna, you can see that how this antenna has to be designed, what it should be, the design parameters, how it has to be taken care, all those things, which substrate you have to use, how it can give you. So in olden days, maybe some 20 years back, if you remember, or some 15 years, let me take, okay, 20 is too much for you. For 15 years back, you might have seen that radios and all in villages and all, you can see that they will pull a long wire because the signal might not be reaching to the radio in a very systematic way. There will be disturbance, and because it's not able to capture the signal what is required for you. So we just extend the process, and we try to capture as much as signals as possible. Now you might have observed in your home also, you most of you will be having dish antennas and all. So when there is some rain or anything, your channel gets disturbed because it's all the noise getting added to that, and you are not able to view the signal further. So you have to change the direction. You might have seen that the dish antennas has to be changed to a particular direction so that you receive the maximum strength. So when somebody comes in your home to repair all these things, you should try to ask them the signal strength, because we are all engineering students. So they will say that it is 90% efficient or 95% efficient or 97, 98% efficient. So they have some equipments to measure. They have the equipments to measure these parameters, and based on that, they say that okay, this direction you are going to get the maximum capture of the signal. So you have the line of sight propagation and all, where you can get the, or you can say that in the 0-degree angle of propagation, you can get the maximum signal strength at the receiving end. So these are what you are going to learn as a whole in the upcoming days, where you will be studying the antenna parameters as well as the equations and some of the terms related to this for the further design and the calculation of the entire thing. So you can just note down, this is a brief, this is an introduction I can say about these things, whatever I have been discussing. And you should know that the signal being transmitted is electromagnetic waves. So you have studied in detail the Maxwell's equations and all those things in the electromagnetics. So those things are not, we are not going to use those things here. We have to know that those whatever you have studied in electromagnetics was electro waves and electromagnetic waves and all those things, whatever you have studied in your fourth semester or fifth. I am not remembering where the subject is placed. So there you have studied all these things, where Maxwell's equation and all those parameters. So it is very important for you to understand that those basics may be required for you to just go ahead with this. So this is a very easy part of the module only. So I can say that you can, only thing is that just get adjusted to integration and differentiation and trigonometric relationships. So you will feel that this is very interesting, very much similar to mathematics. Okay. So that is what, apart from few concepts of antennas and uh, things, whatever you are going to see. So just write down antenna and antennas. You can just write down antenna basics. You can write down antenna basics. Write down this introduction. So it is module 3 and antenna basics. So the antenna is a device used to feed maximum power in the required direction, or to receive maximum power from the required direction. Here the signal of operation between the transmitter and the receiver is in the form of electromagnetic waves. An antenna is required for wireless communication like mobile communication, broadcast systems and cellular phones. So you can just note down this part. So we will continue further. So you might have noted down those things. So antenna radiates maximum power in the different directions depending upon the shape, size and orientation of the system, like dipole, monopole and loop antenna. So it radiates maximum power in the different directions based on the size, shape and orientation of the system. And you have different types of antennas like dipole antenna, monopole and loop antenna, etc. So these things also you can just note down, and this will explain further. This figure you can draw, I will explain it further. So you can draw this figure. So all of you can just listen for a minute. So here what you can see, there is an antenna. This portion of this is an antenna. So this is antenna here, and you can see that the fields. So you can see that the field it is there, that is electromagnetic waves will be transmitted here. So like that you can see that you have fields here, you have so all these things are the field lines. And further you can see that here there is a generator, or you can call this as a transmitter. So what it is going to happen is the signal is going to transmit through this section, and it is going to form the free space waves in the radiating in the 3 dimension, and you are going to have the electromagnetic waves being sent outside from the antenna. So you can see that the antenna radiates the signal to the outer space, and this here it is guided TEM wave, 1 dimension wave. Okay. So you can see that guided TEM wave in 1 dimension wave, and this is the free space wave radiated in the 3 dimension. So this is a very simple diagram where you have a generator signal where the signal is getting generated, or you are going to use the transmission line in order to this is the transmission line what you have studied in microwave. Okay, the same thing. So the transmission line will carry the signal towards the antenna and it will radiate from the antenna to the outer space. You should have another antenna at the receiver end to collect those signals and then move on further. So this is what the process will be. So the generator produces a uniform, so it produces a uniform traveling wave along the transmission line to the antenna, and then the waves tends to be radiated. Also the transmitted signal can be received by the antenna. So the transmitted signal is then received by the antenna in the further stage. So you can draw that figure and note down these things. So this is very basics about the antenna. See, all of you have completed the figure.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then we will proceed further. You just note down these points. So write down the first topic of this antenna part, that is basic antenna parameters. So sometimes they will ask you to write the basic antenna parameters, or they may specifically ask to write some of the parameters like pattern, directivity, beam area, beam efficiency, height of an antenna, all those things. So effective length, what do you mean by field zones? So those things we'll be studying. Those all put together is called as the antenna parameters. So these parameters are used in order to measure the strength of an antenna, or what is the signal can be received, what the signal can be transmitted, what is the power can be calculated. All those things can be done, and you can find out the capacity of an antenna, its efficiency of an antenna. All those things comes under the antenna parameters. So entire half of this module is all antenna parameters, where we'll be studying each parameter in detail. So antenna is the region of transition between the guided wave. So between the guided wave and a free space wave, antenna converts electrons into photons or vice versa. The radiation of power is in the form of electromagnetic waves. So this is very important. You should know that the radiation of power is in the form of electromagnetic waves. So they will ask you in the viva that how the antenna transmit the signal, which type of signal it is being transmitted is electromagnetic waves, okay, produced by accelerating or discharging the charge carriers. So we'll have a basic radiation equation for that. We'll see that which will be with respect to charge and current and all those things. So we'll see that. Just complete this explanation. We'll see the basic radiation equation further. So here what you have to understand is the region of transmission between the guide wave and the free space wave. The antenna is the region of transmission between both these things, and the electromagnetic waves are used to radiation of power is in the form of electromagnetic waves, and you have produced by accelerating and decelerating the charge carrier. So we have also an equation to find out the radiation, that is a basic radiation equation, how much radiation is getting generated, or what is the signal strength available. All those things can be calculated. So we have few equations further, but very nominal equations, not too many equations in this part of the module. So once you complete it, we will proceed further. Is that over?
Yes, sir.
Wait, sir. Wait, sir.
Yeah, 1 minute. See, you start studying for your internals, it will be too much loaded for you later on. You prepare yourself, you will be having the entire third module and half of that second module. So you study properly.
Completed.
Okay. So here we have the basic radiation equation. So we'll see the basic radiation equation. So we have the basic radiation equation. It is defined by using this equation I dot L. I dot L is equal to Q V dot. So this is the equation used to find out the radiation. So what is I dot? I dot is the time charging current. L is called as the length of the current element. Q is called as the charge, and you know it's coulomb and amperes per second, meters. All these things are the units for them. And V dot is the time change of velocity, and all you can call it as an acceleration of the charge. That so V dot is the acceleration, I dot is the current, and L is the length of the current element, Q is the charge. So its respective units also you are quite familiar with. So this is the equation used to find out the radiations of I dot L is equal to Q V dot. Dot indicates, you know, that it is it will be differentiation. So I dot is the time charging current, L is the length, Q is the charge, and V dot is the acceleration. So the time changing current radiates, and accelerated charge radiates. So you know that the signal will be sent outside, and so those, when the signal is being, electromagnetic waves will be sent out. So you'll be having some radiation, and using a few equations you can calculate those things. So we will stop it here, and you can just note down till this. We will continue from here on in the next class. Okay. So you complete it, then you can leave. Now we'll stop it for today. Thank you. We'll continue it further in the next class.